The information is presented for educational purposes only, is not intended to diagnose or prescribe for any medical or psychological condition, or to prevent, treat, mitigate, or cure such conditions. This information is only presented herein for entertainment and educational purposes only. Living Waters Wellness Center was formed after we discovered how to heal my body from multiple symptoms, including allergies, asthma, chronic fatigue, back pain, psoriasis, acne, hives, yeast infections, and finally cancer. After 20 years of trying numerous different treatments, medical treatments, cleanses, iridology, muscle therapy, acupuncture, acupressure, homeopathy, naturopathy, these experiences led us to discover that the recipe that became known as the 4 natural laws of healing, combining multiple natural healing modalities to fully detox and cleanse the body, and allowing the body to take the perfect nutrition to fully restore the body back to its innate health. This became known as the 10-day healing retreat. We've helped thousands of people get their health restored so they can live the life to the fullest. If you want to learn how you can get your body back to living their best life, go to livingwaterscleanse.com, click on the 4 natural laws of healing, and watch that video, or call the office at 208-378-9911. Good morning, everyone. David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center, where each week we bring you information to help heal the body naturally. And we do that by detoxification. So this week's call, we're going to be talking about some of the health hacks that you can use to help quickly and easily to help restore your health. The first one I want to talk about today is the Far Infrared Sauna. We don't talk about it a lot in this show, so I thought tonight, why not? Let's talk about the sauna. What does the sauna do? Why is it so powerful? Well, a couple of things. There's different types of saunas. There's the hot sauna, steam sauna, and there is also the far infrared sauna. Now, of all of those, one is the most effective, more so than others, and that would be the far infrared sauna. A far infrared sauna treatment, normally you're going to get into it for about a half hour, and the beauty of a far infrared sauna is you have the far infrared light waves. They're going to penetrate into the body about 2 inches. Now, far infrared light therapy is very beneficial for the body, but you're going to produce a sweat, and you can produce at a lot lower temperature than being in a steam or a hot rock sauna. If you've been in those, sometimes you can only last just a few minutes, and you have to get out because either you're just too hot or you can't breathe very well. A far infrared sauna, we usually start ours down here at Living Waters at about 120 degrees, and it can go to 170 if you so choose. Now, I find most people when they start, usually 120 to 130 degrees is going to be just right. They're going to produce a sweat, and it's a lot lower temperature, and they can stand it and stay in it for 30 minutes. And while you're in it, I always encourage people to, read a book or relax or meditate. You can play some music, but it's a really good time just to sit back, take some time, digress from your day, if you will, and just kind of get in tune with your own inner body. Now, the far infrared sauna, the big benefit of it is that you're going to get a lot more toxins through your skin. So we detoxify 4 ways: pooping, peeing, breathing, and sweating. And for women, you have your menstrual cycle. So you have a 5th way to detoxify the body. So sweating through the skin in a far infrared sauna, 20% of the sweat that comes off of you is toxic matter. In a steam or a hot sauna, you're only going to get about 2%. Now, as we've mentioned on the show many, many times, we're living in a really toxic environment. We have toxins coming from us from all manner of places, and some we wouldn't even think of. Think about the summertime when your neighbors are getting their lawn all ready and they may be spraying pesticides on their lawn, especially to kill off the dandelions, which, by the way, dandelions is a great plant to eat or put in a salad because it's going to help detoxify your liver. You may be driving down the road last summer, for example. We measured people's antioxidant score. During the summer last year, in the month of July and August, if you mentioned, it was an atrocious summer. One of the worst summers on record as far as toxicity. It was hot, lots of fires. That smoke coming in decreased people's antioxidant scores up to 50%. What are antioxidants, David? Well, antioxidants are actually what protect your cells from becoming cancerous. If you've ever cut open an apple or a banana or a potato and you left it on the counter for a while and you've seen it turn brown, that rotting process is oxidizing. That's oxidizing process, free radical damage. In our bodies, what's happening is we're basically oxidizing those cells the molecules in the cells. And so every atom's got 2 electrons. If you lose an electron, it becomes now a free radical. So think of it like this, the picture in your mind. Let's say you have a guy walk in the room who maybe has 1 arm. We'd call that guy a free radical. A perfectly paired person would have 2 arms, right? But an antioxidant is going to have 3. The antioxidant can literally walk over to the guy that's missing an arm, give one of its arms to it, and stabilize that atom. And so in our cells, we have many, many atoms. And so if we're getting bombarded with pollution, whether it be pesticides, the air you're breathing, even going out and exercising, you're going to oxidize your body, right? Extra oxygen, which is not entirely a bad thing, but too much of it is bad. Last summer, as I mentioned, we have this antioxidant scan in our office. And by the way, if you want to come in and just check your antioxidant scores, you're perfectly welcome to. We charge $20 for it. Very inexpensive. I spend a little time with you, kind of educate you on your nutritional supplements so you get a lot of value out of it. I spend a lot of time with people educating them. Our big thing down here is we educate, because as I see it, we're in this big journey together, and our sick care bills are through the roof. They're atrocious. They're not sustainable. And because we put so many toxins into our environment, people are getting cancer, they're getting neurological diseases like Parkinson's, ALS, MS, and so forth. They're getting diagnosed with words like fibromyalgia or lupus, or they get some kind of a name so they can code you. And what I find, I don't really buy into all the names. I really don't care so much what you have. I know this: if you detoxify the body properly, which we do here at Living Waters, our 10-day healing retreat is your best answer for that. And if you want to know how that works, go to livingwaterscleanse.com, click on the link, 4 Natural Laws of Healing, and watch that webinar. It's 68 minutes, and you're going to learn how the body heals. And what you're going to learn is how you build up toxins. So you're breathing in all this gunk, and your liver is going to take on some of the chores. Your lungs are as well. But there's a way for this to detox. But if you've got a colon that is packing some old matter, and the average person packs 10 or 12 to 15 pounds of just old fecal matter, that's putrefying and rotting in your gut. It presses into the tissues and eventually gets into your blood supply. Now, your blood has a way of letting go of some of this stuff called the interstitial fluid that seeps into your tissues of your body. Now, the lymphatic system does a great job, if it can, working properly, to move that lymphatic. Now, there's no pump for this lymphatic system, and there's 45 pints of lymphatic fluid. So think about that. You have 10 pints of blood, but you got a great pump, the heart. You have no pump for the lymphatic system. Your pump is you're walking, you're hiking, you're jumping, you're running on a trampoline or whatever. That's going to pump that fluid. Now, another way you can help move that lymphatic is you can do some dry skin brushing or just a gentle hand, from the back of your legs, the front of your legs, up through your gut. And that lymphatic is going to gather up and dump into the vein, up just slightly off to the right of your chest area. Now, that gets dumped into that blood vein, and guess where it goes? It goes to the liver. And the poor old liver is already groaning and straining. It has 500 tasks it has to do every day. Some of those are regulating your thyroid and your hormones. So it's not unusual. I get people that come in here and they start listing all of their symptoms and listing all the things they're on and what's going on. They have a complaint of hormone issues or thyroid issues. But when we track it all back, we got to look first, what's the biggest pathway in the body to let go of these toxins? Well, that's the colon and small intestine. So if they're not clear, and if you're not eating and pooping, you've got a digestive problem. You've got an elimination problem. And like I say, it's going to press into the tissues. Now you got dirty, toxic blood. And the cells that you need to nourish every day with vitamins and minerals need to get into that bloodstream and be taken to the cells. Well, if there's blockage, in other words, what I call, as you'll see in the video, I talk a thing about the shag carpet. Its technical name is villi. But the vitamins and minerals drop into the bloodstream and out to the cells. So again, if that's not happening, now you're going to be malnourished. Even if you're taking good quality vitamin supplements, you're going to end up being malnourished. You're not going to get the bang for the buck that you need out of those supplements you're spending all that money for. I know some of you come in here spending $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a month on products to help take care of your body. That's why I always tell all the other naturopaths in town, I make them look good because I clean out the body, and then they go to their naturopath, and then the naturopath muscle tests and see what nutritional supplements they need, and then they give it to them, and then it's going to be more effective. And in fact, you probably have to take less supplements if you're getting your body cleaned out properly. So lots of sources of toxins. We want to get that toxic load down, and we start with colon hydrotherapy. And we got a little video on our website. If you go to livingwaterscleanse.com, click on the link, you're going to see a little 10-minute video, and it's going to explain how a colonic is done. Real simple, real easy. It's no harder than taking a shower in your own home. It's really that simple and that easy. So I really encourage you to check that out, because this is one of the best tools you can have as one of your health hacks, if you will, to get your body back to feeling. I just had a gal come in tonight, and she is said, man, certain things happen. My gut bloats up, like I'm 6 months pregnant. Yeah, it's because that rotting, putrefying old mass that's in there. And we start going back, we realize there's been some other toxins throughout the years. There's been drug addiction, alcohol, and so forth. And so the remnants of all that is still there. And that really messes up your microbiome, which in her case, when she did go to the bathroom, it was just diarrhea. So again, that's a very, very, very toxic body that's really out of sorts. One thing I want to talk about, if you're thinking about going out and purchasing a Far Infrared sauna, there's a couple of things you want to keep in mind. First of all, a lot of the very inexpensive ones are very toxic. If they're made out of pine or fir and so forth, those can have mold in them. You want to have a sauna that's made out of cedar, and you want to make sure your sauna is only producing very small amounts of electromagnetic frequencies, or none at all, but very low amounts. And you can usually get that from the manufacturer. If the sauna is insulated, avoid it. You don't want to have a sauna heating up insulation, which you now breathe in. That's more toxins. The other big benefit to a sauna is that, especially if you're sick, now think about when you're sick, we want to heat up the body. That's going to turn on your NK and T cells. So when we produce a fever in our body, that's actually very beneficial. That's your body going to work. It's turning on those worker bees. What I call the bombers, going to go in and nuke out the bad guys. And that is going to be the NK T cells and so forth. So you want to have that sauna cranked up. Another benefit from the sauna is that you'll notice your skin is going to be a lot smoother when you get out of a sauna. Can you lose weight in a sauna? Yeah, you can lose weight. You're not going to go in there and come out and lose a pound of weight. That's not going to happen. But again, you're creating the thermal effects of the sauna, which is very beneficial for the body all around. So just enjoy it. Like I say, it's a great place to get in tune with yourself. Another tool that we like to use to increase your immune system is our Far Infrared Biomat. Now, the Far Infrared Biomat is a little different animal. You can sweat on it, but because you're not in an enclosed area, it's going to take quite a bit to sweat. But you can, because that thing cranks up there pretty far. I think it goes up to 160 degrees. If you lay out long enough, you will produce a sweat. Some people more than others. But the big benefit of the Far Infrared Biomat, when it comes to healing, especially when it comes to cancer, and the reason why they use these in the Japanese hospitals, these Far Infrared Biomats, is because it penetrates 6 inches. So if you take and lay on the professional size mat, which is about the size of a massage table, and then put what I call a mini mat on top of you, you're sandwich yourself in between those two far infrared therapies, and you're getting your whole body treated with that far infrared therapy. Plus, it's going through amethyst stone. And amethyst stone has its own beneficial properties. And if you go to the website, livingwaterscleanse.com, you can actually read all about it, check it out. And if you want to come in and try out a session on that, please, you're welcome to do so. Call the office at 208-378-9911, 208-378-9911. I should just mention, you can buy packages of sessions if you'd like to. So usually a session is $45 for either of these tools. If you buy a package of 4 sessions, it's $100. 10 sessions is $200. So very, very reasonable to come in. And again, you're in there for about a half hour on the therapy device. So great tools. The other thing I like about both of them, especially if you have pain, if you've got some arthritic issues, that can help with that. Now, ideally, you're going to get on a colon hydrotherapy bed, and that's much more beneficial to alleviating that inflammation in your body, because you're cleaning out the colon and giving these toxins a pathway to move to. So really important to understand that, by golly, we're going to start moving toxins out. One way is through the skin, one way is to get things moving in the body, and that's what the far infrared therapies do. And then if we use colon hydrotherapy with it, much more beneficial to get more bang for your buck using colon hydrotherapy. And again, on the website at livingwaterscleanse.com, you can see how that's done as well. Now, while you're doing both of these, you want to make sure you hydrate. That means water. And most of you are not drinking enough water. Me included. I still have the problem after all these years of getting my water intake, and I got to really monitor myself. And so what I suggest you do is when you start out to get, hydrate. I had a gal come in today. She doesn't drink any water whatsoever. Of course, she's very toxic, and I was that way years ago. I didn't drink hardly any water. I drank sodas the whole time. Of course, I paid for it dearly. Eventually had cancer and psoriasis and asthma and a lot of other issues as well. But water, you need it. You need to be hydrating those cells. And by the way, to get you to think about why you need to drink water, it's your brain food. First thing in the morning, you should drink some water. If you want to, you can add some lemon to it. Lemon's very detoxifying. You add some lemon ginger. I like to sip on a little lemon ginger tea, as I call it. I do hot water with mine when I do lemon ginger. That's very detoxifying. It's going to help with the mucus. For those of you with sinus issues and lung issues, 2 things to do. Have that lemon water with ginger and come do some colonics. Especially for those of you who are having some lung issues, maybe you've had some pneumonia going on. I've had people come in with full-blown pneumonia and hacking and coughing, and they are absolutely amazed how much better they feel. That's just after 1 session. Because you think about it, what are we doing? We're eliminating those toxins that are sitting there in your gut, putrefying and rotting and molding. So really important to drink plenty of water. Now, when you come to a colonidotherapy session, you're getting water from the bottom up, and you'll get several gallons. And the reason why you want to make sure you're hydrating those tissues in your colon normally every day recycles 2.5 gallons of water per day. I mean, isn't that fascinating? So when you get a bug in there that's not supposed to be there, what's your body do? Well, it blows it out. Turns on the fire hydrants, if you will. That's what we call diarrhea. Not necessarily a bad thing, although we get all freaked out about it. But if you have constant diarrhea every day, and we've had people come in here that have been diarrhea their whole life, and it's because their microbiome has completely been wiped out, usually by not just the foods they've ate, but mostly by the antibiotics. Now, sometimes we've got to have antibiotics, but we way overuse them in our society today. Way overuse antibiotics. And it's basically just throwing a nuclear bomb in your gut and just blowing things to smithereens. And you have 5 pounds of microbiome, and you need to keep that balance of good bugs, bad bugs in ratio. So when we clean out the body and we start restoring it with the proper probiotics and prebiotics and the fibers and the nutrition that you need to get, it's going to restore quickly and easily. No other way to do it other than through your food and the nutrition you put in your mouth. But we got to clean that palate out because every organ in your body connects to the gut. It's so amazing. We had a gal come in years ago. I'm kind of digressing for a minute, but point this out how important this is. She had an issue. I can't remember what they called her dis-ease, but basically she couldn't lift her arm. And the medical community decided to drill into her bone to wake it up. That's what they told her. They're like, what the heck? So anyway, she came in and she came into a Far Infrared Biomat. She'd heard about me and thought I need to do one of those Far Infrared Biomats, see if that would help. And of course, we eventually got on a 10-day cleanse. And on day 5, she walked in and 2 things had happened that was very significant. One was her hair color was flat out black. She had lots of gray in it when she started the cleanse, but it was now black. And the other issue that she had was, of course, raising her arm. And she says, yeah, this morning I reached up accidentally and grabbed something out of the cupboard. Like, yeah, her arm started working again. Like, how amazing is that? Because we're getting the toxicity out. We're getting things firing and wiring again. And that's what's really important to understand is that if your gut's not working properly, other places in the body are not going to work properly as well. It's not unusual. I have people come in, like today, we had a gal come in, just, yeah, I had my gallbladder out. Oh, when did that happen? Oh, about 3 years ago. And she's been constipated for quite a long time, which is usually contributes to those toxins that gets into the liver. And that stuff, that bile that your liver's producing every day goes into that gallbladder. It's there for a storage mechanism. And then when you eventually over time, they can calcify, these little stones can calcify, and now you get a blocked duct, and it's painful. You think you're dying. You're not. But there's ways to solve that, and that's why we do a liver gallbladder here on our 10-day healing retreat. So really important to understand that you need to clean out the body and keep it clean because there's just so many toxins around us, as I've mentioned earlier. Another toxin we'll come back on the next segment and talk about is electromagnetic frequency, EMFs. We get them from so many sources. We have them on these cell towers that are around town. We have them on our phones, the Wi-Fi. For those of you people who are living in an apartment building, you got multiple people using Wi-Fi. It's just, I mean, you're just getting so bombarded. We're going to talk about that when we come back on the next episode, because we're having people having a lot of health problems and they can't figure where the mystery is, and it has to do with electromagnetic frequency. So if you're experiencing some of these symptoms like AFib or some of the most serious ones, brain fog, gut issues, and so forth, it could be what's coming out of your Wi-Fi device and your cell phone and those towers in your neighborhood. So we'll talk about when we come back. I'm David DeHaas, your host of the Whole Body Detox Show from Living Waters Wellness Center, livingwaterscleanse.com. You want to call the office, 208-378-9911, 208-378-9911. Stick around, we'll be right back. You can't treat the body and heal it a piece at a time. You have to treat the whole body naturally. That's why Living Waters Wellness Center 10-day healing retreat is so successful in helping what I call the incurables back to wellness. Here's what a few clients had to say about their experience at Living Waters Wellness Center.
For over a year, I've been dealing with gas pains, stomach pains, and it's been waking me up in the middle of the night, so I never get a full night's rest. And last night, after my first colonics, I slept through the entire night without any stomach pain or any kind of issues.
I suffered from migraine headaches for 12 years, once a month, and since I did the 10-day retreat at Living Waters Wellness Center 8 years ago, I have not even had a migraine. I've not even had a headache.
I had back pain on my left side for about 20-25 years. After the 10-day healing retreat, the pain is completely gone.
To learn more about the 10-day healing retreat, go to healingtheincurables.com or call the office at 208-378-9911. That's 208-378-9911. The preceding examples may not be typical of your experience and may not be right for you. Seek the opinion of a qualified healthcare professional before determining if cleansing is right for you. We're back. David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center and your host of the Whole Body Detox Show. Thanks for staying around. Hey, we're talking about health hacks today on the Whole Body Detox Show. And we talked in the previous episode about Far Infrared Sauna, the Far Infrared Biomat, drinking plenty of water. And I started to mention in the last episode about electromagnetic frequency. It's a big problem, and it's our next pandemic. It's already here, and we're seeing a lot of people going into AFib. My friend who I've had on the show before, we've talked about it. It killed all his bees, and he's been in AFib now 12 times. He's got a tower 650 yards from his home, quite a distance. But the problem is that tower is putting out so much energy, and it's not very high off the ground. These towers, to be safe, should be a minimum of 200 feet high in the air. Most of them, if you look around town, they're maybe 60, 80 feet, maybe 100, maybe. You know, it costs money to go up higher in the air, so they don't do it. And then, of course, they blast out power because they're carrying more and more data. As we've got these smarter phones now that carry data and live stream and so forth. It's a lot of energy. And so what's interesting is he's noted that when he's gone into AFib, usually he's been near a tower, 4:30 to 6 o'clock in the afternoon when people are driving home, probably on their phones, carrying lots of traffic. And we've tracked this now, and he's building a list, and he's got quite a list he's got going of people who have reached out to him, have heard his story, and said, hey, I think that may be what my problem is. He had a friend of his just not too long ago. They went over to dinner at their house, and the guy says, yeah, my heart's been racing up to 120 beats, 130 beats. And so Hank took his meters over there, and you can get meters. We have one here at the office, but we can get these meters that can measure the bandwidth and the frequency that's coming off these towers and the power. And sure enough, when Hank went over there was a tower. And when Hank went to his home, he went into AFib and had to go to the hospital and get the paddles put on him and reset. And the people are actually now mentioning in the hospital that they're seeing more people that claim they're being injured by these EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. So a couple of things. In your phone settings, you know, your phone actually prints a warning inside. If you go in and you look into the disclosures, they tell you that these phones are not safe. Don't put them to your head. When I talk on my phone, I usually have it on speaker mode, or I don't use a Bluetooth anymore, not at all, once I learned about that. But you have 5 antennas. So you have the regular cellular data, you have Wi-Fi, you have Bluetooth, you have hotspot, and you have the tracking data. So these are all different ways that these phones put out that have this energy. So you can shut those off. I have all mine off. And when I put my phone, if I'm going to carry it someplace, I put it on Airplane mode, I have all the Wi-Fi off anyway, and Bluetooth all the time. I have it off, and I put that in my pocket. And I feel safe when I get someplace. I need to check my messages, whatever. I turn it on and I turn it back off and carry it in my body. So that we need the phones. That's what we've become accustomed to. When I'm in the office, I've got a landline phone which I use most of the time. So I'm just trying to eliminate my exposure to electromagnetic frequency, which, by the way, on your laptops, big problem. So what are we doing? Well, those of us in the know, we're hardwiring all our computers, even our laptops, and we're hardwiring our homes. So we're going back to the hardwire because of the dangers of electromagnetic frequency. I did an interview with Dr. Martin Paul just a few weeks ago, and you want to go back and listen to that episode. It was quite depressing. We're in really a big pandemic, guys, because not only is it creating illness in us, but it's decimating the animals and wildlife and the bees and the insects. As he mentioned, he says, last summer he was driving across eastern Washington, in the evening, and normally you get a lot of bugs, right? On your windshield, no bugs. And I thought, my gosh, I've noticed the same thing. Driving up and down to Twin Falls last summer in the late afternoon and evening, no bugs. I thought it was kind of odd at the time, but I didn't really correlate what was going on. He also mentioned, and he's writing a paper on this right now, that he believes these large forest fires are attributed in large part because of the amount of terpenes in the trees, which are increased by the amount of electromagnetic frequency in the air. And now we've got, I remember years ago, I thought it was really odd. I was up at Brundage and I was down in this creek bottom and my phone rang. And I went, what the heck? How am I getting signal here? But we've got these towers everywhere. And it's a big problem. And we're going to have to change our ways because we're slowly killing ourselves. We're killing our wildlife. We kill the pollinators, which we're doing, and it's proven. There's studies on this. If you want to go to a great site that's got this, our site's got it at Idahoans for Safe Technology, idahoansforsafetechnology.org. That's Idahoans with 4 is F-O-R, safetechnology.org. When you go there, you'll click under science and you'll see some of these studies. Environmental Health Trust also has some great list of all of the studies. So the studies are out there. The FCC has been a captured agency. They're run by the big wire, big tech, and they're captured and they have been lost in court many times. They just lost on August 13th, where the DC Court of Appeals said, look, you guys have been arbitrary, capricious, and illegal. You stated in 1996 Telecommunications Act that these phones are safe, but yet you provided no proof at all. Zippo. Give us your proof. You got 60 days. And they came back with nothing. Nada. Not one study. They just kicked the can down the road and ignored that it even happened. They don't care. They're just getting away with it because they know they can. Because you, the people, haven't spoke up because you don't know. So what's really sad is we don't know, and what we don't know that isn't so is even worse. And we're seeing some local governments are taking the right tack. They're saying, you know what, we're going to regulate these properly. We're going to get them up, out, away from the cities. We're going to put them 200 feet in the air. We're going to regulate the power. We're going to put a cap on it. We're not going to let all this power come out. And in fact, in that DC Court of Appeals opinion, they said, look, any towers above 6,000 megahertz need to be turned off immediately because you didn't have even proof for that. You can't go above 6,000. And that's what the Telecommunications Act says, hey, up to 6,000 megahertz, they're safe. Well, we know they're not safe, even at that frequency. And we've got a tower going in out by the birds of prey, and that tower that they propose to put out wants to put out 11,600 megahertz to carry data, which is absolutely insanity. And we know what it does to what harms wildlife. We know that. We know that as facts. In fact, that's why some countries have banned these small cells. Small cells are what you know referred to as 5G antennas. And these antennas are super dangerous. They're only 30 feet off the ground, 20 feet from your home, beaming out a signal 25 million times greater than what it takes to make a cell phone call. They're dangerous. Yet Boise City has failed to properly regulate, and they think it's great. So if you want to make a difference, you better be calling your city council members. You better be railing on them to make changes. We've appealed several towers, but they ignore the evidence. They ignore the rules because they've simply followed what the FCC has actually said and what's happened in the court cases. They would learn they can properly regulate these. Eagle, Idaho's doing the right thing. They're going to put them in hardwire, fiber optics to the premises. Ada County has said, hey, we got a way to solve this. We're going to put fiber optics in. Lewiston, Idaho put fiber optics in. Ammon, Idaho put fiber optics in. Mountain Home is putting in fiber optics. Fiber optics is fast, safe, reliable, just like your cable. Right to the home. And then in your home, you don't need to use Wi-Fi. And I got to tell you, I've noticed it. And in our home, we had Wi-Fi, and we're changing over. We're hardwiring. And it's a process for us in our particular home, the way it's laid out. But we're going to do it because I notice when I go in that room where it's at, my body heats up. I start sweating, which means we got a problem, friends. So look, we're raising money for this, and we've got some matching funds from a donor. We're going to go to court and change some things. So we're raising money, and you can go to Items for Safe Technology, donate. You can buy a raffle ticket to win a quarter side of beef. So there'll be 4 winners. You can buy a ticket for as low as $20. If you can buy $100 worth, please do. If you buy $1,000 worth, please do, or 500, whatever you can do it. We need to raise some money quickly so we can get on down the road with this lawsuit we plan on commencing. So please help us out there, guys. We're all in this together. And I got to tell you, they're putting some of these towers in schools, which is absolute insanity. It's harmful to kids. It's harmful for women who are pregnant. It's causing brain fog and issues and learning disabilities. So if you got a kid that's having problems with their gut and having problems with their brain and ADHD, or they can't sleep well at night, well, it's probably because of a tower. We've been talking about health hacks. We've talked about Far Infrared Sauna. We talked about the Far Infrared Biomat. We talked about drinking water. We talked about avoiding the toxicity. We talked about getting our antioxidants in our body tested, which if you want to do, come down to Living Waters. Call the office at 208-378-9911. We just charge you a small fee of $20 to have that test done. Know if your supplements are working, because if in this oxidative environment and with all this stress around us and the stress within you, you need good quality antioxidant nutrition to help buffer the plethora of toxins coming our way. And we're going to say we're in a toxic soup bucket. Juicing is one of the cheap, easy ways to get a lot of high-density nutrition in your body, and I recommend a masticating juicer, not a centrifugal force juicer. Why? Because those centrifugal force juicers are going to oxidize your juice. You got to drink it right then. If you're trying to juice greens, it's going to cost you a lot of money to juice enough greens in a centrifugal force juicer. So a masticating juicer will literally squeeze that juice right out of that plant, whether it's kale, spinach, or a carrot. You're going to get your best bang for your buck and investing a few more dollars in that. I had episode, I think, 3 last year. Go back and see John Kohler Discount Juicers. He does a comparison on his YouTube channel, and it's on our podcast. All our podcasts are at wholebodydetoxshow.com, or wherever you get your podcast, just put in Whole Body Detox Show, subscribe. And by the way, if you're there and you like what we've been doing, please give us a like and please give us a review. I really appreciate that. It helps us a lot. So make sure you're drinking clean water. We mentioned drinking water. Make sure it's clean. Do not drink out of plastic bottles, my friends, because you're getting some of that leach off in the plastic. Please don't drink out of metal. Please get a glass container. They're really easy to get. They even have them now where they're wrapped in some rubber or plastic that you can, so you don't break it. I just use repurposed juice jars, which costs me nothing after I drink the juice out of it. And again, biggest health hack is, by golly, eat organic. Please eat organic. Especially if you're juicing celery. Do not juice celery that's not organic. You're just loading yourself with pesticides and toxins and making things worse. It's really, really harmful for your body. So you got to juice. You have to only use organic. Seriously, do not use anything else. Invest the dollars in your health now. Otherwise, you're going to pay for it later. So good quality nutrition. Vitamin supplements, mineral supplements. I think of that as my health assurance plan. I want all those chelated minerals to absorb right into my body. And the product we've been using for the last 30 years in our family has chelated minerals, which means it's been wrapped in a protein, and so the body sees it and absorbs it quicker and easier. I make sure I have the full spectrum. The product I use has got everything in one little sachet, which is easy to carry in your pocket. If you're interested in knowing more about it, give the office a call at 208-378-9911, 208-378-9911, and get yourself an appointment to come in and have the antioxidant scan in. Just see how well your supplements are doing. Okay, you're out in the restaurant, right? Well, I do. Call the restaurant before you go to it. What are they cooking your food in? How are they prepping it? Is the food been sitting there all day in some kind of aluminum container? You don't want to eat there. Are they cooking out of a Teflon pan? You don't want to eat there. You don't want to be absorbing those toxins out of the Teflon pan. So it's gotten so that my wife and I, we can really tell now. We've cleaned up our bodies. And what you'll notice, when you get your body clean and you get it healthy, when you eat toxic matter, you'll know it immediately. I mean, bam, you'll notice it, because for me, my head starts sweating, or my wife will get a little nauseated. maybe a headache, because we clean our body up. And once now our body is super aware and super in tune with healthy nutritional food, and we give it toxins, it tells us. Another health hack: avoid pork. Sorry, you bacon lovers. I used to raise hogs. I'm going to tell you, they are one of the filthiest animals, and they're full of parasites. And there was a study done years ago, and they showed they couldn't even burn the parasites out of it. So if you're eating pork, your body, when you eat that pork, your white blood cells just poof, they take off like, what the hell hit us? Incoming, incoming. Why is that? Well, because it's just not good for your body. So avoid pork. Sorry. No pork, no ham. Sorry, I'm sure I ruined some of your days, but like I say, I raised hogs, and I used to eat a quarter pound of bacon every morning. I love my bacon and eggs, and I know it. But today, if I were to eat it, because I'm so clean, oh my gosh, I just get sick. Can't do it. Won't do it. I want to keep my body operating at optimum condition. I want to live well as long as I can. And I don't want to be sick in my older years just existing. And so another thing, for those of you moms and dads, you got kids going to school, pack them a lunch. That food at the schools is the cheapest garbage out there. It's absolutely atrocious. It's not even food, really. It just looks like food. Pack healthy nutrition. You get your kids conditioned on this early on. Like my kids years ago, we see a lot of broccoli and the carrots and celery and hummus and all kinds of creativity we got with their food. And by God, that's what they've always preferred. Your body doesn't come to earth craving a soda. That's all conditioned. It doesn't crave sugar. That's all conditioned. So for those of you who have been on drug addictions, maybe you've been addicted to alcohol or meth or heroin or sugar, whatever it is, chemically in your body's trying to get back to homeostasis. So it's really tough to break that habit, because now you've conditioned it, and the emotions of the past, coupled with those chemicals, is going to create, I need that cigarette. I'm going to tell you, I've got case studies here. People came in 42 years of smoking, did our cleanse. By the time the cleanse was over, they couldn't stand to even put a cigarette near their mouth. And they were just completely shocked, because they'd spent money on hypnosis, the patches. They did all this stuff. And then, foop, cleanse the body. The body starts wiring, firing, and says, I don't want that anymore. So any addiction you've got, I'm going to tell you, you can have the ability to clear it by cleansing, deep tissue cleansing. Go to the website, livingwaterscleanse.com. Watch that video, The 4 Natural Laws of Healing, and watch it with your whole family. Everyone gets on board. I know you're going to have some people in the family resistant. Heck, I was resistant at first. My mother-in-law used to make me this big old plate of fudge at Christmas. I'd eat the whole thing. I can't even put a small piece in my mouth anymore. My teeth will hurt. When your body gets so clean and so healthy, when you stick these toxins in it, it immediately rejects it. So be sure, eat healthy organic food. Clean out your body, and you're going to live much better, longer, have more brain capacity. And again, drink your water, guys. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Okay, this is for those, very quickly, we don't have a lot of time left, but I have got a brand new health hack. And this is really cool. Stem cells. Stem cells in your body are there to help repair and restore. But as we age, by age 35, you're only producing half as many. By age 60, none. So we begin to basically kind of go like being a prune-like to be more like a raisin. This is the example I use. And we don't have these stem cells. But stem cells, if you've got an injury, if you've got some pain, these little activating patches, you just put a patch on. You don't have to have surgery anymore. This is made basically out of some amino acids in a geometric pattern. You put this patch in your body, the body heats up. It's just using waves of light to activate your body to make its own stem cells. And I've seen people with severe injuries. The pain goes down. The injury starts healing much faster than if not. Thousands of testimonies on this product. And so go to the website, livingwaterscleanse.com, and just say, request the information. We'll send you a quick little video. It's about 3 minutes. It's going to show you how they work. And if you want to try these patches out, fill out that form. We'll get in contact with you, and we'll actually give you set up so you can try it out for a period of time. And I got to tell you, of all the products I've sold over the last 40 years, I've never seen anybody respond as quickly as they do with these little waves of light, these patches. And usually about 50% of the people notice something within the first 4 to 5 days. Now, not everyone does. That's why I suggest people try it for 30 to 90 days. But I'm going to tell you, it works. It works well. They've got a lot of clinical trials on it. And it's a little activating patch you can put on your body. And we've got it right there on our website at livingwaterscleanse.com. Look for the link, stem cells, and you'll be able to click on that and go there. Give us your information. We'll send you out the video and then give you a chance to sample them. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the health hacks today. I'm David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center. If you missed any part of this show, go to wholebodydetoxshow.com. And we've got about 64 episodes up so far. You name it, we've probably spoken about it, and we'll keep doing so. You make it a blessed week, my friends. We'll see you next week. David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center and host of your Whole Body Detox Show. You can't treat the body and heal it a piece at a time. You have to treat the whole body naturally. That's why Living Waters Wellness Center 10-day healing retreat is so successful in helping what I call the incurables back to wellness. Here's what a few clients had to say about their experience at Living Waters Wellness Center.
For over a year, I've been dealing with gas pains, stomach pains, and it's been waking me up in the middle of the night, so I never get a full night's rest. And last night, after my first colonics, I slept through the entire night without any stomach pain or any kind of issues.
I suffered from migraine headaches for 12 years, once a month, and since I did the 10-day retreat at Living Waters Wellness Center 8 years ago, I have not even had a migraine. I've not even had a headache.
I had back pain on my left side for about 25 years. After the 10-day healing retreat, the pain is completely gone.
To learn more about the 10-day healing retreat, go to healingtheincurables.com or call the office at 208-378-9911. That's 208-378-9911. The preceding examples may not be typical of your experience and may not be right for you. Seek the opinion of a qualified healthcare professional before determining if cleansing is right for you.